Hey guys, this is Blanche with Strong Mama Fitness, and today we're going to be doing core movements. So I'm super excited about this. I've been getting a lot of questions on what to do in pregnancy for your core, and that's great questions. I have like at least 3 or 4 pregnant mamas right now that are asking me, and I love it. So I want to give you a couple of different exercises that you potentially can do. And I say potentially because it's going to be different for every single person. A mom of 5 back-to-back pregnancies might have a different core integrity than a person who has their first baby versus like a pro athlete versus someone who just does running or whatever. So all the different core integrities are going to be different, which is going to mean it's going to be different for every person. So I don't really like to give like this is the safe list and this is the not safe list, because you can maybe not even do a movement on the safe list well, but you could do maybe movements on the unsafe list well. And so it really is about how to engage your core well and figuring out strategies and to do so, but then also figuring out tools and kind of like self-assessing, right? And learning to advocate for your own health and figure out if the movement is good for you in this season. So I'm going to give you probably 2 or 3 different movements. I have a, what's this called? Resistance band. And I just did it around my couch. You can do it around a chair, or if you have like a door anchor like this, you can put it on the door. You can put it on something high, like if you have a pull-up bar, you can lift it around a pull-up bar. And so this is great for at-home workouts. Highly encourage that you invest in one of these. I thought that they weren't good enough, to be completely honest, when I first started with the idea of at-home workouts, but I quickly realized that that was wrong, and they're great. And so definitely recommend. Yes, time under tension is very, very scientifically proven that it works. So that's all about resistance bands is what they're about. So the first movement is going to be kind of a pull-up press. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take the resistance band, and it's okay if it's down, up, or high with this pull-up press. It's just going to work different muscles, but it's all core related. And so you're going to make it to where you're going to have resistance, right? And so you're going to want to be able to press it out like this. So this is an anti-rotational movement. You're going to want to turn, and you're going to keep your body straight. And so you're going to recruit a lot of your obliques in your core and your stabilizing muscles to resist that rotation. Anti-rotational movements are wonderful for pregnancy, but then also you can throw in rotational movements. Again, there's not like safe versus unsafe. I'm just going to give you a variety. So you're going to grab the bands, inhale, engage, and then exhale, engage that core to where as you pull it up, it's already engaged in resisting, right? Because even this, I can feel like if I was doing no tension, I would just turn. It would be like, you know. So I'm going to engage my core and then keep it engaged so I can talk, I can breathe, but it's still engaged. Breathe in and then press out. So each time I press out, I'm going to exhale so I can recruit that core even more. It kind of cues me, if you will, to recruit my deep core, my transverse abdominis, my obliques, all of those stabilizers. If you feel like this is too hard, just get closer to your anchor point, and that's going to be easier resistance. If you want to pick it up a notch, you can step away from your anchor point. You can also hold at the furthest extension of the anchor point. So I'm like this, then I'm going to breathe in, breathe out, and then hold, 2, 3, 4, come back in. That's pretty much where my limit is. And so in order to keep my core engaged. So what you're going to be looking for is if you're bending or twisting and you cannot stay neutral and resist the rotation, then you want to get closer. Also, if it's really hard for you to breathe fully and you're noticing when you look down, your belly's kind of coning, you're doming, then that, I want you to let go and reset and try to engage your core from bottom up. So when you breathe in, breathe out, really engage bottom up, create that tension well, and then try to push out and see if that feels better. If there's still that coning, then I would say this may not be a movement that's beneficial for you in this season. So if that's the case, that's perfectly fine. There's more options. So another one that I like is going to be, this works better for if it's at least a little higher, but I can work with this too. But you just do straight arm pulls. So you can do the higher straight arm pull downs. You can also just do it like this. So every time I pull it back, it's working my back, but also it's really working my core. So I breathe in. And I breathe out, engage that core. Again, I'm gonna be looking down. You can do this either with a tighter shirt on or shirtless with your, to see if there's like that coning. And this is wonderful. It really fires up my core when I'm pulling this resistance band back. And so that is another movement that you can do. And again, you can do it to where it's like a straight arm pull down where it's higher than you, the anchor point, and you just pull down. Or you can pull down to where it's just like a moderate resistance band, pull down from there. Again, get closer to the anchor point if you're seeing that coning and maybe it's too high resistance. You can also get a lighter resistance band. This one I think is pretty moderate. And the same thing goes for that if you have trouble really connecting to your core and engaging it well, and there's just pressure that's being pushed out through linea alba, and you can see that doming, this might not be one that's beneficial for you. So another one that you can do is gonna be a rotational one. And so you're going to, and I don't really know if I'll actually be able to do it very well. I might just ghetto rig this for a second. Because, okay, so, because this is a pretty heavy resistance band, but you're going to do this and you're going to rotate and push. And so you're going to breathe in, breathe out, rotate and push. So this is great for first and second trimester when your belly's not like huge yet and you can still get really good rotational movements in. Even if you're in your third trimester, a light resistance band, rotational movements are not bad. We just have to move with intention and we have to make sure that we're aware of what our body is communicating. So pain or pressure in the linea alba, or visible pressure being pushed against the linea alba. So if we can't engage the pressure well and you see that coning or doming, this just isn't an exercise that's beneficial for this season. So you breathe in, breathe out. And this is great because it gets that rotational movement in, it gets us working in different planes of motion, and this is wonderful because we live in all planes of motion, right? We go side to side, we go forward and back, and we twist and we turn in motherhood. So we want to train like that. Yeah? Do you want to play with this? Okay, can you go to the table and play with it? Okay, go to the table. Yeah, here, take this. And then the last one is just going to be without the resistance band. So we're going to do side planks. I love them. I'm actually going to throw in two more. So side planks and then bird dog. So side planks are wonderful because they're not completely pronated. So your linea alba you don't have like the gravity of your baby against your linea alba and everything. So you don't have the gravity of all of that pressing against your linea alba, you know, like if you're completely in the plank pronated like this. But you're still able to really engage your core well. So a couple different varieties of side planks. You're going to line up your butt, your feet, your shoulders in one line. You're going to maintain neutral spine. Breathe in, breathe out. Stay on your knees. Just come up for about 2 to 3 seconds, come back down. Breathe in, breathe out. Engage the core, bottom to top. Come back down. See how that feels. Videotape yourself if you don't have a coach or other person that can kind of look to see how your core is handling it. And then if that works, try with your leg out straight. Really focus on trying to get that full extension. Come back down. If that still works, then progress to where you're just on your feet. Come back down. Come back down. So you can do these, you can do them in intervals. You can do them in, you can do 3 to 5 second intervals and then reset. Or, yeah, you did it. Do you want me to get it out again? You just do that. Are you done with it? Okay. Or you can work up to 10 seconds or 15 seconds as long as your core can stay engaged and you're handling it well. That's awesome. Do you want me to close it? The last one I'm gonna do is bird dog. I love this. Now this is why I don't do safe versus unsafe. Okay, go play. I actually could not do this one in my pregnancy pretty early on because the integrity of my linea alba and the connective tissue was so like compromised at this point because I had like 2 babies back to back and then I got pregnant at 10 months postpartum and I hadn't had a lot of rehab. And so it was just, the pressure just completely leaked out like from the very beginning. So even though it's like, oh, this is a safe pregnancy like movement, for me it wasn't safe and I knew that, and so I didn't do it very much, or I modified it very much, and then just took it out completely. So hold on. Do you want your bottle? It's right here. Haven't decided if I'm going to edit this out yet, but we'll figure it out. It's motherhood. Y'all know what that is. So the bird dog is going to be on all fours, and it's really simple. I start with breathing in. What? This is milk. This is milk. We're not going to have juice. You can have this milk or you can have water. That's your option. No, we're not gonna have that. It's the same thing. This is the same thing. If you finish this, I'll give you more. But I'm not gonna give you more right now. Can you go watch some shows? Okay, so bird dog. You're gonna be on all fours, and I just start by breathing in, breathing out, fully engaging my core. So honestly, if you are pregnant and you have like your bump has popped out, this could be just a great movement to practice your connection breaths in and find your breath to see, am I able to really engage my core? Because gravity is going to be pulling it down. So you're going to be going against gravity and really hugging your baby in and engaging that core. So if there's leakage and it's coning, then try to reset and do it again. So if you're unable to engage your core well just by sitting on all fours like this, it's a really great indication not just any pronating movement is not going to be good for you, including push-ups. So bring the ground up higher and do everything elevated. That's what I had to do in my 3rd pregnancy, probably from week like 17 or 18. So, which like is totally not a big deal because we progress, and then I had the baby and I'm 7.5 months postpartum and I can do pronated movements all the time now. So just remember that it's a season, it's not forever. So on all fours, breathe in, breathe out, really engage that core. And I start with one limb at a time, if you will. So I'll breathe in, breathe out, and then I'll just lift my arm. And I'll see how my core is doing with that. And then I'll lift my other arm and see how my core does with that. Because sometimes you can actually hold more tension on one side and engage one side better than the other. It's crazy. My left side, I always have more tension in than my right side. So for me, I have to intentionally release my left side, and my right side's like, has no problem with it. So that's why I do both arms first, and then I move to my legs. Breathe in, breathe out. And I actually put my foot and keep my foot on the ground. So the goal on this is to really focus on intention over intensity. You're not wanting to do these like super fast, right? And just pop out as many as you can. You want slow and controlled movements because you're working on your stabilizer muscles. So you want to be able to like have something on your back staying neutral and it not fall off. So if you imagine like a yoga block or really any kind of like flat surfacing that can go on your back, to see, okay, how much is my back moving? How much is my pelvis moving? Am I able to keep everything stable? This honestly is still like real hard for me to do because I'm still rehabbing and rebuilding my core from 3 pregnancies back to back. So I breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So you only want to go as high with your feet. You're not trying to get way up here. That's not the goal. The goal is to maintain the neutral pelvis. So if you have to keep your leg on the ground, great. If you can lift it up a little bit, great. But we're not wanting to shift our pelvis or move it like this. We're not wanting to create more of an interior tilt or posterior tilt. We want it to be completely neutral. So for me, I'm still at the level where I'm basically doing like touching the floor with a little bit above sometimes. But these are all wonderful movements to potentially use in your pregnancy. If you have any questions, I would love to DM me and we can connect and talk about it a little bit more. I do have a program, Bump Fit, coming out in 2020. Super stoked about it, and it's basically going to be from week 5 of your pregnancy all the way to week 40, and it's going to take you through, because I know a lot of times people just want to know what to do. Can you just tell me like what movements to do? So that program is going to give you that, but it's going to be combined with also strategies and tools on how to do the movement well, because it's not just what movement we're doing, but it's how we do it well. And it's going to teach you how to advocate for your own health and fitness so that you can actually know and be informed in your pregnancy of what could be a good movement for you. So stay tuned for that. But I hope this is helpful, and thanks for listening.